Hello everyone, Debbie here. Welcome back to Barossa Valley Crafts. So, sorry I missed out on a tutorial last week. I've been in bed with influenza A for the last 2 weeks, and today is the first time I have really been motivated to get up and do something. So if I'm a bit out of breath, that's why. Anyway, I have a Facebook group called Cardmaking for Beginners and Beyond. I will add the link in the description if you'd like to join. But we've had many new members asking about colouring mediums. So I have selected 10 different mediums that I use for colouring in, and I'm going to show you what I have selected. So I have stamped 10 cards, all with this same stamp. So this is a Couture Creations. I got this through. It's a card deco stamp, and that's the one I have used for all of these. And then I have used this one. Again, it's a Couture Creations ink pad. It's a matte jet black stays in place ink pad. The reason I've used this is because it's great when you're using with water and it won't smudge or move once it's got water on it. So that's what I've stamped with. You can use like, what do they call it, stays on, all different things, but I like this one. So to start off with, the first one we're going to use are alcohol markers. So I'm using these ones. Now this is a Couture Creations alcohol ink marker. And there are other brands out there, but I find these ones are really good for what I do anyway. So after stamping, I've picked out 2 colours. So I've got a rose red and peach red. So I'm going to start off with the darker one, and they've got like a felt tip and a brush tip. I personally prefer the brush tip. So I'm just going to colour in some of that. Now, as you can see, I've already coloured in some, so I didn't want to be here all night to do 10 different full-page colouring ins. Then I'm going to use the lighter one over the top, so I'm going to pull some of that darker colour down so it kind of blends it and gives a bit of shading to it. Now, the card I'm using here is just a smooth white 300 GSM card. You can use a blending card, but it will work on this as well, so you don't have to fork out for special cards. Just a smooth 300 or more GSM is fine. And there's that one done. So that is using alcohol ink markers. So I'll put them, put them all together once we've finished. Next one is one that everybody has, just normal everyday colouring pencils. So just select the colour that you want and colour in. Now the beauty of using pencils like these is you can have it shaded to make darker and lighter areas to suit where you want. So I've just quickly coloured that in. Now I'm just going to select some areas where I want it a bit darker to give it some degree of shading in there. And that's where colouring pencils are great. Just using different pressures on there will give you the different depth of colour that you want. And we'll just do a bit more darker here. And then I'm pressing lighter out towards the edge. Now, I am not an expert at colouring in by any means. I am not an artist, so I just colour where I think I want to do it. Okay, so there's that one. So that's just normal everyday colouring pencils. Okay, so these ones are Derwent ones. There's so many different brands out there. Everyone you talk to will tell you which brand to use, but it's a personal preference. You use whatever suits you best. Next one I'm going to use is Winkles. Now, Winkles is a Couture Creations glitter marker. So there is 12 available. There's another 12 to come out. But they are various colours, and if you shake it, you can hear a little ball bearing in there. And that's mixing the glitter through the ink. So what I'm going to do with this one is just a little bit of pressure to put a little bit of the ink on my craft mat. And I'm actually going to pop a bit of water with it because I want to lighten it down. So then using a brush, I'm going to mix it with the water, pick up some of the colour and just colour in. Oh, I've probably got a bit too much on there, but that's okay. We can just spread it out. Now these are really pretty. They're very glittery, and when they dry, they've got a nice shine and shimmer to them. So now I'm just going to go over some of the areas where I want it, again, a bit darker. And just in patches. And there we go. So easy to use. And like I said, there is a variety of colours there. I have actually done a tutorial on the Winkles. I will add that into the link to that tutorial in the description so you can see them. But hopefully the camera's picking up that beautiful shimmer. So that's another one. I'll just rinse my brush out and wipe off that so I don't get it on the next one. The next one I'm going to go to is just stamping inks. There's all brands out there. A lot of the time I use the distress inks, like the oxide inks, but I also use these a lot too. So these are a Card Deco ink. Again, I get these through Couture Creations. Most of my Couture Creation products come from Image Plus Scrapbook Superstore in Tassie. So I'm just going to put a bit on my craft mat, spritz it with a bit of water, and again I'm just going to pick up some of the ink with my brush and just paint over the stamped image. So they're very easy to do, and like I say, you don't have to be an artist because I'm certainly not. Now I'm going to put another bit on there, and I'm not going to dampen this one down because I want, again, to do some darker areas, just to make some patches a bit darker. Give it a bit more dimension. And I mean, those of you that are an artist, you will know where to put your dark spots, but I just, like I said, do it where I want it. We'll do a little bit down here as well. And that's that. So that's just using stamping inks that I have smooshed onto my craft mat and then added a bit of water, and then I've done a bit without water. Now I'm just going to wipe that off and we'll go to the next one. So my next one, mica powders. A lot of people ask, how do you use mica powders? There's many different ways you can use them, but here is another way. So again, mica powder is just a very fine powder. This one's a Couture Creations Mix and Match Pigment. I'm just going to get a tiny bit. You don't need much of this. A little bit goes a long way. Pop a bit on my mat. I'll just put the lid on that so I don't blow it everywhere. And then I'm just going to give it, whoa, there you go, that's how fine it is. A spritz with water and mix it with my brush. And then again, paint just over the stamped image. Now this has got a really nice shimmery effect to it too, these mica powders. So I'll just colour it over. So as you can see, they don't take long. You don't have to be too fussy. And this particular stamp has actually got a die that matches it. So if you go out the lines and you've got a matching die, it really doesn't matter. And there's that one. So that's using a mica powder. Hang on, I'll just clean this up as I go so I don't spread it over the other cards. There we go. So that's the mica powder. It's a nice shine on that one. Okay, what do we got next? So now we've got watercolour pencils. So I've actually got a red one that I've got here. So watercolour pencils, you can just colour in a little bit of what you want done, then picking up water on your brush, you then spread that pencil around, and again, the more water you add, the lighter it will get. So if you want it darker, you have less water. So you can see there, I've scribbled there fairly heavily, and I'm dragging the colour down so it gives some shaded effect as well. So as you can see, I've coloured in a lot of this earlier, but watercolour pencils are great. And that's that one done. So again, you can do it so it's all shaded. So that's watercolour pencils. Okay, what do we got next? We've got pastels. So just normal colouring pastels, which are like a chalk. So with this one, I'll just do a little bit of colour on there, and then I use my finger to blend the colour a bit. Now, some of these things, for example, this chalk and the mica powder, may need sealing with a sealer to stop the pigments from coming off. So there's that one. So that's a pastel. So with there, you can add other things to them, obviously, to bring it to a bit more life. Depends on the detail that you want in it. So that's a pastel. Okay, so what do we got next? I have got, so this is a Lavinia product, and these are called Dinkles. So Dinkles are a powder, and I have put a little bit of the powder into these little pots and mixed it with water to make a paint. So this particular one is called Chili Jam. And again, just mixed with water and painted on like so. And again, if you wanted to do a darker one, you would add less water to your powder so that you can get lots of different shading. So that's Dinkles. There we go. So again, very quick, very easy. Oh, get my lid on. I want to get that on properly because I don't want it to spill. Okay, so Dinkles. Now my next one is an ink spray. So this is a Delusions. There's different brands of ink sprays, and you can get so many different colours. And all you do with this is just spritz it onto your work surface, pick up some of the colour and paint. Now if you wanted to water it down, you could spritz it with water to lighten it up. But again, it's just like painting with a watercolour paint, and it's easy to do. See if I can make some little darker patches. Here we go. So that's ink spray. So it's really, ink spray would basically be the same as using your ink pad and spritzing it with water, but it's just a more intense colour. So that's ink sprays. Okay, I'll just clean up this and we'll go on to the next one. Now, I think the next one is my last one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep, so the last one is called Brusho. Now, Brushos are a lot like your Dinkles. They are a powder that you can mix with water to get different effects. So, again, I have just put some of the Brushos powder into here. And then I have just put some water with it to make a watercolour paint. And I'm just going to colour this one in here. There is so many mediums you can use for colouring in, and this is only just the tip of the iceberg. So it's just make do with what you've got in your stash wherever possible. And go from there. Just experiment. That's the best way to learn. It's only paper. If you don't like it, you can throw it in the bin and start again. But there we go. So that's my 10 that I mainly use. So just get them all out again. So we've got Brushos. Make a bit of room here. Hopefully I can fit them all on. Dinkles. Ink spray. I don't know if I'm going to fit them all, but we'll see how we go. Pastels. Stamping ink that has been smooshed and then spritzed with water. Mica powder, which has got a nice shiny shimmery effect. Watercolour pencils. Winkles, which are a glittered ink pen. Alcohol ink markers. And colouring pencils, just normal, regular colouring pencils. So I hope that's helped with some ideas on what you can use. Like I said, there is many, many out there. So I hope this has helped. And if you've liked, please do give me the thumbs up and do subscribe if you'd like to see more of my tutorials as I do them. And please feel free to join in my Facebook group if you would like to. I will add the link down below. Thank you for joining me, and we'll see you all again soon. Bye.